Right now, Hurricane Delta battering parts of the Gulf Coast that have already been hit so hard this storm season. Take a look at the latest track behind me here. The storm made landfall as a Category 2 storm just miles away from where Hurricane Laura, which was a monster Cat 4 storm, hit in late August. Delta is packing winds up to 100 miles an hour, strong enough to cause extensive damage in these already battered communities. Tonight, we've got crews on the ground as that storm moves up the Gulf Coast and inland, and we'll hear from a storm chaser who's now monitoring Hurricane Delta's strength. But first, we're giving you the most up-to-date information on the storm's track. Gerard Jabali is standing by, but we start tonight with NewsNation Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon.
Rob, this made landfall at 6:10 Central Time. As you mentioned, a Category 2 hurricane, wind gusts above 100 miles per hour. But the good news tonight, it's inland and it's weakening. Wind speeds down to now 80 miles per hour, racing to the north-northeast at 15 miles per hour. A disorganized hurricane here tonight. Most of the rain north of the center of circulation. There's not a whole lot of rain down here from the coast out towards the south in the Gulf of Mexico. So conditions already improving along the immediate coast, even though the wind continues to howl out of the south, piling up storm surge. That salt water moving inland as high as 9 feet in some spots. There's a center of circulation. There's Lake Charles. But here's where the heaviest activity on the radar is tonight. Alexandria, Louisiana, getting pounded right now with heavy rainfall and wind gusts likely above 80 miles per hour. Oakdale, Louisiana, also right in the middle of it. Wind gusts as of the top of the hour. 85-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Lake Charles. That's higher than now the last hour, and they're outside of really the core of the system. The heaviest winds are going to be up in here, and that's wind coming in from the west and also northwest, wrapping around the center of circulation. 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts just reported out here towards the east of the center of circulation. How much rainfall? A lot of rain. 6, 7, 8+ inches of rainfall already, according to Doppler radar, and as it continues to move up towards the north, it could dump an additional 4 to 5 inches of rainfall in just southern and central sections of Louisiana alone. And because of that amount of rainfall, a flash flood concern tonight. Flash flood watches in effect from coastal sections of Louisiana into the southwest corner of Tennessee through tomorrow, and in some cases even through tomorrow night. The forecast cone takes it through northern areas of Louisiana late tonight into tomorrow morning, into Mississippi by sunrise, and then weakening as an area of low pressure over Tennessee, a rainmaker for sure. Let's talk about the impacts as far as thunderstorms tonight. Even though the worst of the weather is focused in over Louisiana, these rain bands coming off the Gulf of Mexico, even here in southeast Louisiana, including New Orleans, could come in with a punch. Just in the last 90 minutes, we started to see the rain bands move into New Orleans. That's going to continue into the overnight and as we roll through tomorrow as well. Two main concerns tonight will be from thunderstorms in southeast Louisiana, producing wind gusts potentially above 40 miles per hour, but also quick spin-up tornadoes. So we're going to watch that very closely tomorrow. The severe weather risk will shift off towards the northeast, covering portions of Alabama and Mississippi. Meteorologist Gerard Jabali is going to cover much more on the forecast in just a moment. But first, NewsNation meteorologist Kristen Curry is covering the storm for us tonight in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Kristen?
We're here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, an area that was battered by Hurricane Laura 6 weeks ago and is now dealing with the impacts of Hurricane Delta. It made landfall to our south and east, but we've really been feeling the winds over the last several hours here. Wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. It's been like this for the last 2 to 3 hours, especially with the heavy rain on top of that. Now, I know it's difficult to see. We lost sun here within the last couple of hours, but these streets are actually flooded out. There's a good 2 to 3 inches of water atop the neighborhood streets, and we still have piles of debris left over from Hurricane Laura. They just haven't had any time to clean up and do that process of repairing and rebuilding yet. So this is basically just adding salt to the wound. It's adding insult to injury, if you will, to Lake Charles, the 5th biggest city here in Louisiana. The silver lining is the fact that we did see massive evacuations when we were coming into the city yesterday. A lot of people did heed those warnings, and it's a good thing they did, because this is, again, not quite as powerful as Laura, but because of Laura's strength, a lot of these buildings have suffered some damage. They're vulnerable, they're compromised, so it's not going to take as strong of a storm to see increased damage across the city. We're going to continue to keep an eye out not only from the wind damage as pieces of debris from these piles lining the street could possibly be lofted into the air and acting as projectiles, but we're also keeping an eye on the flooded roadways, because that is something I think this city will be dealing with over the next couple of weeks, maybe even months. So we've got eyes here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. We'll continue to provide updates. Kristen Curry, NewsNation, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Thank you, Kristen. Very difficult to report in such conditions, winds blowing like that and where the rain can feel like rocks pelting you in the face. Not an easy task. All right, the one thing that has really set Delta apart is the fact that it puts us at the 10th named storm to make landfall in the continental United States. That has never happened before in history, and there it is. We now know it made landfall as a Category 2 storm right there, Creole, Louisiana, and all the other storms. And as you heard, Category 4 Laura was one of those storms. Only 15 miles away is where it made landfall. Just incredible. Now, the winds have been pretty strong, no doubt. Category 2 winds at landfall now starting to step down, but as you heard from Albert a little while ago, 85-mile-per-hour winds, at least near Lake Charles. Now, that wind field isn't just including the hurricane force winds. We have to include the tropical storm force winds, which is a very wide field, some 300 miles in diameter. So folks like Shreveport and all the way over here to Jackson, Mississippi are still feeling winds gusting between 40 and likely to 60 miles per hour here in the next day or so, overnight. Now, overall, the winds will be dying down with the storm as it moves inland, but still pretty gusty, and then, of course, the rain comes along with that. The storm surge so far, we have just not gotten a whole lot of reports. It's tough to know as it's happening. A lot of times you don't know till after the fact, but some of the forecasting showing anywhere from 6 to 8 feet of storm surge, which is in the same spots, again, that we saw the storm surge earlier in the season from Laura, just some 6 weeks ago. All right, so as the storm moves inland, bringing more rainfall, not just to Louisiana, but a lot of folks across parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, moving into the Appalachians, and then even all the way up to the northeast, where we could be seeing some impacts from the remnants of this system all the way as far as New York, if you can believe that. Now, the rainfall totals have already been pretty high in these locations, starting to dry out closer to the coast as the rain itself is moving in, but 6 inches of rain easily in those spots. Further inland, the rain is not going to be as intense, but still 2 to 4 inches of rain with locally higher totals could bring the potential for some flooding. And then on top of that, we also have to remember that even as the storm weakens and moves in, you can still have a tornado threat. We already had that somewhat today, just haven't seen it really materialize. We're going to have to watch near the Tuscaloosa and Alabama border there through tomorrow, and then as we move into Sunday, it moves across the Carolinas. So another threat that we just have to add on top of this. But overall, at least things will be stepping down little by little as the storm moves on, but impacting a lot of people tonight.
Gerard, thank you. Tonight we are joined by Stephen Jones, a storm chaser with a group called Tornado Intercept. He's monitoring the storm in Lake Charles, Louisiana. We thought we'd get him on the phone, but Stephen is actually called in on the Zoom here, so we're going to be able to see him, which is great. Let's start, Stephen, with what you're seeing there in Lake Charles tonight.
Good evening, Joe. We are here, actually, we're just east of Lake Charles near Lake Arthur, Louisiana. We're just here near I-10, and we are now on the back side of the eye wall where we are actually on I-10, and we're witnessing a lot of semis have actually been tipped over because of these winds over hurricane force, just being very detrimental to travel. There are still truckers out on the road here still trying to get out of the path of this storm, and the wind has hit them broadside to where they have been tipped over. So actually my chase team just got back from inside checking a semi truck right now to make sure that no one was inside and that everyone was okay.
So when you're chasing a tornado, obviously you're on the move, Stephen. How do you chase a hurricane?
Yes, chasing a hurricane is very different just to the fact that we have, where you're immersing yourself in a storm. Whereas chasing a tornado, you're chasing alongside of it. You're not placing yourself exactly in the face of danger. When you're chasing a hurricane, you are immersing yourself in the storm. You are becoming part of the disaster zone itself, and that's how it's pretty different.
So people might think you do this because you're thrill seekers. What other sort of data are you collecting there? The value of this, Stephen?
The value of us being out here is that we are able to actually show viewers and show people that are able to actually sit at home or evacuate or even move, further inland from these storms, what exactly is going on. And we actually are out here. I provide live streams to social media for people that are able to actually get out of the path of the storm, that still have the anxiety to see what is happening in their hometowns that are being affected by these hurricanes.
How do you decide where to go? I'm wondering, when this hurricane is at its peak, you have to be somewhere where you're taking cover, correct?
Yes. A lot of days of planning go into chasing these hurricanes, where we actually arrive anywhere from 24 to 48 hours before these hurricanes hit, and we actually scope out the areas where we expect some of the heaviest damage to be, and we actually check out different checkpoints and safe zones to where we can actually go and seek shelter ourselves in case that we are able to get in, that we are able to take care of ourselves and make sure that we are not in the way of emergency management, law enforcement, or fire and rescue at all.
Stephen, we're out of time, but quickly, can you tell us, is everyone okay? All of these folks in the trucks that you've come across?
Yes, my actual chase team actually just got back into the car just moments ago, and they just whispered to me that everybody was okay. So all is good, and we're heading towards Lake Charles right now. Thank you for checking in with me.
All right, Stephen Jones, thank you for painting the picture for us tonight. Be safe out there. We'll look forward to seeing some of your videos soon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with NewsNation as the storm moves up the coast and inland. We'll be bringing you updates both on air and online at newsnationnow.com.